Welcome, everybody. For those of you that are listening to this webinar, we welcome you. I have Coach James Johnson with me, and I am Dr. Angelica Underwood, a world influential leader, consultant, and I consider myself a special education alchemist because I am on a mission to transform the way special education is being done right now. And I am the founder of Superheroes in the Classroom live stream webinar and Neural Dynamic Edu Solutions. And I really love to connect with, and I do research and I interview thought leaders from across the globe, from the worlds of science, educators, or education. I really find out what parents are really experiencing. I go into politics to create and share a dialogue on today's most important topics related to special education and students that are struggling learners. And like I said, I'm committed about getting you what you want in business, education, and in life. And I find the right experts that will be able to help you make a difference and shift any situation that you might be dealing with. And today I have a perfect and great expert. It's Coach Johnson, James Johnson, and welcome being on my webinar today, Coach.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And let me just introduce you to our audience. So I have we have a PowerPoint that we want to share with you. So we are going to bring this over here, and that way we can share this awesome webinar. Let's see, where is it? Right here. Perfect. There it is. Okay, like we said, this is Superheroes in the Classroom, and our topic with Coach James is life lessons from a man who believed in an autistic boy. And based on what transpired in his life, Coach Jim Johnson, do I call you Jim or James?
Jim is fine.
Okay. He is now an authority on the subject of realizing your dreams in his many public speaking appearances, and is a public speaking appearance. The Rochester, New York resident relates to his role in a basketball game that got Hollywood calling. He also emphasizes the importance of teamwork and sportsmanship, delivering his talks with a heartfelt style that has brought audiences to their feet. Now, Coach Johnson has developed a winning high school basketball team for 28 years, taking over 3 losing varsity programs and turning them into winners in short periods of time. Of his 383 career victories, one in particular will surely never be duplicated. Now, on February 15, 2006, Coach Johnson made the kind-hearted gesture of inserting his autistic manager, Jason McElwain. What's his last name? Can you pronounce it for me? I don't want to.
McElwain.
McElwain, now known the world as JMac, into Greece Athena High School's final home game, which is the Trojans won the 74-43, right? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and then JMac scored 20 points in just over 4 minutes, including 6 3-point baskets to become an instant national celebrity. So you tell us more, Coach, about your whole experience. I mean, this is just beautiful. And I can go on and introducing you, but I think that my audience would love to hear what you have to say. What are you and JMac doing today?
JMac and I are actually gotten closer than ever. He actually works on my staff. He's been with our basketball program for 6 years. That game occurred 8 years ago, and he's doing really well. He works at a grocery store as well, and he's really into helping our basketball. He's also gotten very big into running, and has actually run in 3 marathons, including the Boston Marathon, which I might get a little more deeply as we get further into our talk here. And we're both doing really well. To give you a quick background, in 2004, Jason came to our basketball program looking to try to make the team. And to his credit, he tried out for the team 3 consecutive years. The last 2 years, trying out for the varsity, the team I coach at Greece Athena High School, a suburb of Rochester, New York. And he never made the team, but he had always never stopped trying. And his big dream was he wanted to get into a high school varsity basketball game. So when he tried out for his senior season, I told him he wasn't quite good enough to be on the team, but because he was so loyal and dedicated and committed to our program, that I wanted to give him a gift. And the gift was I was going to give him an opportunity on our final home game, which we call senior night, give him a uniform and hopefully get him a chance to play in his final home game as a senior. And fortunately, that came true. With just over 4 minutes to go, I stood up and pointed to J-Mac. His time was right, and he bounced up and was ready to get into the game. And it was really neat is our student body really gave him a standing ovation. And what Jason and I did not know is one of our parents, kind of our unofficial photographer, had made all these placards of Jason's face and put them on these paint sticks. And when Jason got in the game, they gave him a standing ovation and put all these placards up. And I got so overwhelmed with emotion that I actually sat down and tears started to roll down my face. Just to see how he was welcomed was something I'll never forget.
Wow.
Well, he gets in the game. And the first time he touches the ball, he had the ball in the right corner. He shot a three-pointer, and the crowd stood with anticipation, hoping the ball was going in. Unfortunately, not only did it missed by about 6 feet. It wasn't even close. But the crowd just groaned, and I know you're not supposed to pray in the public schools, but I was praying hard. Please, God, can we just help get one basket? The second time he got the ball, it was actually a much shorter shot. And my prayers must have been working a little bit because although it didn't go in, it was much closer. It hit the rim this time. And I'm thinking, okay, we're getting closer. And then the third time was the charm. He actually touched the ball behind the three-point arc again, this time at the right wing. And he let it go, and this time it went in. And the place just exploded. It was just pure bedlam. And I'm thinking to myself, God must have been a basketball fan. Not only is Jason scored, made a three-pointer. This is a memory he'll be able to cherish for the rest of his life. But it didn't end there. From there, Jason, his boyhood idol was Kobe Bryant, and he literally turned into Kobe Bryant for the next 3 minutes as he just made shot after shot. And it was just incredible. And the two things I'll never forget in the last minute is with about 40 seconds to go, of course, tears are still rolling down my face as I see Jason scoring all these baskets. I get a tap on my shoulder. I look behind me, and it's Jason's mother, and she's bawling her eyes out, and she says, Coach, this is the best gift you could have ever given my son. And, of course, she embraces me, and I cry hard. I was so touched by her words. And then how the game ended, with about 10 seconds to go, our opponent that night, Spencerport, and I certainly want to give kudos to them because they were such good sports, the team, and of course, their coach, Coach Harder. Well, they score. And our player takes the ball out of bounds. Instead of throwing to our point guard like he normally did, he threw it right to J-Mac. So J-Mac's dribbling down the court as the clock's winding down, 7, 6, 5. And with about 2 seconds to go, Jason stops, this time from a couple feet behind the arc. And so I'm thinking, Jason, don't shoot from there. That's too far. And he launches this rainbow, and swish, it goes through.
Oh,
and
my
I
God.
look over, and her student body is all run on the floor. And the other thing I'll never forget is Jason's parents have an interesting dynamic. His dad is 6'6". His mom is 5 foot tall. And I see this little bitty lady bobbing and weaving through the mass of students and our players to get to her son, and she embraces it. It was a memory I'll certainly cherish. And then our players put Jason up on their shoulders. At this point, I had no idea how many points Jason had scored. And our public address announcer comes on and says the leading scorer for the Trojans tonight, J-Mac, with 20 points. I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
Oh, my God.
I using my math brain, if he'd have played the whole game, he'd have scored 160. So it was truly the most amazing and remarkable night I've ever had in coaching basketball in my 33 years. is
Wow.
I'm always cherish.
And then from there on, is this when, because I know you've had appearances, and people out there need to know that you've had appearances on Oprah Winfrey, Jim Rome show, and in 2006 you also met with President George Bush, the governor, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, this
We.
is just amazing information that you need to share with our
Yeah.
audience right now.
Yeah, what happened was really interesting. Is I called it in the newspaper, not because of Jason, but mainly because we're supposed to just report, the game. And I did share with the newspaper writer that Jason had come off his first game, he scored 20 points. I thought the newspaper would make a really big deal out of it, but they didn't. They actually didn't even give him a headline. And so I really, although it was something that touched my soul and heart very deeply, I really thought it would end there, but what I didn't know was Jason's speech pathologist that was very close to Jason was at our game, and he was so touched by what he saw, he actually called one of the local TV stations, and back then it was a VHS cassette or a VHS tape, and one of our local TV stations borrowed it and showed it that night on the news, and it got such an overwhelming response that the next day we had 3 TV stations locally come in. And then one of the sportscasters called me later that night and said, Jim, this story is unbelievable. Do you mind if we send it out nationally? I said, no, if it can make an impact on the country, I think that'd be wonderful. And they did. And after that, it just exploded. And from
Oh,
there, I was on more TV and radio shows, and Jason the same, and it was just a whirlwind of, between meeting the president and our governor and Hillary Clinton and being on Oprah's show and being on a number of different TV and radio shows was just an absolute incredible experience.
wow. Do you have a YouTube, I mean, that we can just show us a little snippet of it?
We do, if you just YouTube JMac video, it would come up.
Okay, hold on. Let me get
Or,
to.
or my website, it's on there as well.
Okay, what is your website again?
CoachJimJohnson.com.
This is like, we have to do this. Okay, here it is. I have your. Where do I go to get to the YouTube?
It actually should be on the JMax Magical Night. Is it on there?
I go and I see Coach Jim Johnson. I have to put my glasses. Is it like a video or?
Yeah, there should be a video on there.
I don't see one. I'm going to have you. I'm going to share my screen. Hold on. Let me share my screen with you.
Okay.
With the audience, and then that way you can guide me. Nope, not there. Okay. Can you see your website?
Now I can. Hit the, actually, well, that's my demo video. Actually, hit Miracle Night above.
Miracle Night.
Right, hit there.
To the right?
Yeah,
Oh, right here?
Miracle Night up above, it says.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. The tab, okay. Oh, here it is.
There
Okay.
it is, right there.
Let's click on it. And that way we can share it with our viewers. I think it's worth watching. Do you want to go to a certain section, or do we start from the beginning?
It's a pretty powerful video, so.
Okay, let's leave it.
But what we do with it, that's the story we all want to tell.
I've coached for 25 years, and I've never experienced that, the emotional high of what happened.
What happened for Jason McElwain, or JMac as his friends call him, is about more than a shot. Diagnosed with autism at 2 years old, Now identified as highly functioning, he's never considered himself different or separate, especially when it comes to sports.
Sports has always been, how could I say, his equalizer. He's like,
What is it?
just like any of the other.
That was his dad.
Oh, okay, that's his
It's
dad.
not really a big deal at all. I'm just normal like other people. That's the way I am.
At 5'6", J-Mac didn't make the junior varsity basketball team at his high school, Greece Athena, near Rochester, New York. Instead, he became team manager, a role he now has for the varsity as a senior. In the last 3 years, in his white shirt and black tie, he's missed only one game.
You want to practice, I set up the clock and get the water in games and be enthusiastic.
As this season was wrapping up, Coach Johnson approached Jason with an idea about the Trojans' final home game of the season.
I said, you know, I'm really going to look to try to get you in the game, but remember, I can't promise you that. And he goes, okay, Coach.
February 15th, Greece Athena against Spencerport, senior night. With word out that Jason might play, the student section printed signs of J-Mac's face, just in case. And with 4:19 left in the game, with the Trojans up by 20, Coach called down to the end of the bench for number 52.
I just kind of turned and pointed at him, and he almost ran right on the court. He was so excited.
Hey, Jay, you got to check in. So it's the buzzer. He doesn't go anywhere. Like, now you go on the court. You know, he was so caught up in the moment.
He came into the game, they all stood up and they put the signs, you know, the pictures of him up, and I got really emotional. And I sat down and started crying.
With 3:46 left, Jason got the ball.
When he missed that first three, I was like, oh, and then it airball, and I was like, man, I really just want to see him score one time.
I put my head in my hands like, dear God, please, just get him a basket.
Then, with 3:12 left, another chance.
That third trip down the court. Imagine.
Wow.
As soon as I hit my first shot, I just kept shooting, and I was just hot as a pistol.
Shot after shot after shot kept going in.
The basket was like this big, huge bucket, and I was shooting like they were free throws. This is a big, huge bucket that's like huge.
And I was like, oh my God, is this really happening? He has more points than me, so he's got bragging rights over me.
He was unstoppable for that moment in time. He was unstoppable.
He comes down the court right at the end with like 3 seconds left, and he hits this one that's, you know, probably like an NBA three. As soon as the gun ended, they stormed the court. I couldn't, you know, just couldn't dream anything like that.
It felt like we won a championship. Yeah, everyone's just so happy for me.
In that 4 minutes, 19 seconds, Jason was 7 for 13, 6 of 10 from three-point range, 20 points in all. In his first and only varsity basketball game, J-Mac was the high scorer.
Truly the most incredible moment I've ever had in coaching. I was so touched, and it was just so special to me that a young man, his dream came true. You know, and I could help that, it's awesome.
What we all want in life is a shot. J-Mac took his, and now it's a story we can all tell.
Wow, that is powerful. This is really powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. I'm just going to go over here and stop sharing for a second. Wow, congratulations. And so tell me, I mean, after this amazing experience with this young boy, then you wrote a book, right?
I did.
Okay, so tell us about that book. I'm going to put the cover up here for it's down here. So tell us about this book.
Book is called A Coach in a Miracle, and it's what we did is we wrote it as a life lessons book. I actually have a co-author, a gentleman named Mike Latona, and Mike was actually a high school classmate of mine, and also he had two sons on the autism spectrum, so the Jason story really touched him deeply. And we wrote the book. The first 6 chapters talk about each chapter's heading is one of my keys in helping people make their dreams come true. And then we've finalized the book with adding 3 more chapters. And so to give you an idea how it's set up is that each chapter we certainly talk about the book, but then like the first chapter is called Define Your Passion. The second one is Understanding Your Mission. Third one is Setting Goals. Fourth one is Perseverance. Fifth one is Carpe Diem. Sixth is Be a Team Player. Those are my 6 essential keys in helping people make their dreams come true. And then we added 3 more chapters related to the book in Staying True to Yourself, Share Your Success, and Believe in Miracles. And we've gotten a lot of tremendous feedback about the book because it is written as a life lesson. We have questions at the end of each chapter, and we're very proud of how it came out.
So how can people get a hold of this book, and I mean, how can they find it?
Yeah, they can definitely go on my website. If they order through my website, I of course will sign it and also include a free bookmark. And if they also can certainly buy it on Amazon, but of course you wouldn't get the free bookmark or me to sign it. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, now I know that you, can you tell us about the retirement of J. Mac's jersey? I mean, I think that's an important point to make.
Sure. Well, Jason came back into our program. He was, after he graduated, he would come to some of our games, but he actually wasn't helping our program as a coach. And then we sat down. He really missed it after a couple of years, and he wanted to come back and be part of the program, and I welcomed him back. And so he's been back as an assistant coach for 6 years. And so we decided in honor of all the great things he's done for our program that we were going to retire his jersey. So this year, this past year, I should say, this past season, we retired it on, I believe it was December 20th, and we played a team that, ironically, the team we played, that high school, had beaten us our last game, Jason's senior year, but fortunately, Jason's and I, we were able to avenge that loss, and we won the game. And it was just a very touching. A lot of his former teammates and a lot of alumni came back. There was a packed house and an electric atmosphere. It was really a really special night for him and certainly our whole program.
And can you share, because I know that you have 6 essential keys to making your dreams come true. Can you share that with us today?
Sure can.
Okay.
In fact, I put those on my bookmark as reminders, but the first one is passion, where I really believe if you're going to be successful in anything, you got to find things you love to do. And I think that's the first question you ask yourself is, what do you love to do? And then the follow-up question is, how can you make it a big part of your life? And the illustration I'll give you is that in my own life, I became very passionate about basketball in high school and got pretty good at it and thought I was going to play in the NBA. But unfortunately, when I got cut from my college team, I realized that dream wasn't going to come true. But, I was still extremely passionate about basketball. So I said, okay, how can I stay involved and, make it part of my livelihood? And fortunately, I became a coach, and I've really enjoyed it immensely. I've been a coach for 33 years, 28 years as a varsity coach, 18 at my previous position, or my position right now. And I just retired from teaching to focus on a speaking career, but I'm actually going to continue to coach because I'm still extremely passionate about it. And the other thing I think you learn is, I never realized how much I would enjoy speaking. I've now been speaking for 8 years, and I'm extremely passionate about that. So I think having the passion, because what I found is when you love something, you're going to invest a lot of time in it. When you invest a lot of time in something, you usually become very good in it, which makes you very attractive to the marketplace. The second one a key I talk about is understanding your mission. I do a lot of reading. The book that I share, my keynotes, is a book that's very famous called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Stephen Covey. In fact, I was very blessed to get an opportunity to speak to Franklin Covey last year, although Dr. Covey unfortunately had passed away, but I did get a chance to meet his son and his brother, so that was a pretty neat experience. But in the book, Dr. Covey talks about, that we all talk about having a mission statement for a school or a business, but he really believes you should have your own mission statement. And it really got me thinking, because this was about 20 years ago I read the book, and it's like, what is my purpose? Well, why was I put on this earth? And now I'm very clear about my purpose. My purpose is to be an outstanding role model that makes a positive difference in the world by helping others make their dreams come true. And what I really try to share with others is when you have a purpose and direction, it really helps you do a better job in making better choices, because you have that guiding light and a direction in your life. And I think that's really a powerful thing in helping you make your dreams come true. Then the third key is one that pretty much everyone knows about. I found that many people practice it, and that's to be an effective goal setter. In that, I talk about the power of writing it down. I call it, when you think it, ink it. Write down your goals. And then secondly is I think you should set at least one, maybe a couple really big goals. And what I found is when you set a really big goal, is that you got to add disciplines to your life. In fact, I'm a big quote guy, and a quote I got from Jim Rohn I really love is that we will all suffer one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. But regret weighs tons, discipline weighs ounces. So the ability to set that really big goal because of the person you become, because of the disciplines that you add to your life, whether you make that goal or not, I think you become a better person for that. So I think goal setting is a very powerful thing. And I give audiences tips on the fact that I think you should write your goals down every day and put them on index cards and read them in front of a mirror. Really understand, as Zig Ziglar always said, if you don't have a target, you can't hit it. So I think having those goals written down really gives you a real direction in your life. My fourth one is one that I don't know of anyone that's been successful that doesn't have this key, and that's perseverance, the ability to not give up on your dreams. And J-Mac's a great illustration. Here was a young man that had never gotten a chance to get into a game, yet he never gave up. He always worked hard. He always stayed after practice. He was committed to be the best he could be, both on and off the court, and it certainly paid off to him. So, I think it's really an important lesson that we stay with your dream and, find ways to overcome those obstacles. And I found that all highly successful people do that. My fifth one is what I call carpe diem, which of course means seize the day. And in that, I talk about two things that I think to make your dreams come true, you got to be exceptional in things you can control. And to be able to seize the day, I think you have to have an outstanding attitude, and I think you have to have a great work ethic. And, I always talk to people, all around the country, my speaking. I've been a teacher for a long time. When I talk to young people, is that, what? You can control your work ethic. You can control your attitude. So be great at it. And I'll share one more quote. I love this. Is something I share with my team very early in every season. Is attitudes are contagious. Is yours worth catching? And I think that's a really powerful thing to remember. And then
can you say that one more time? Because I think it cut, and I think it's very important that we hear that quote.
Sure, absolutely. The quote is, attitudes are contagious. Is yours worth catching? And I think that's a really powerful thing to remember, that your attitude is going to be infectious, and hopefully it's in the right way, not the wrong way, because we've seen both types of people. And then lastly, and I think you can put it all together, is you have to be a team player. You have to learn to work with others, create value for others, help others. And I think when you have that mindset to give to others and try to make the world a better place by helping others, I think that's the mindset that's really going to help you make your dreams come true. And that's happened so much in my life, and so many of the people that I've studied that have been successful, they're givers. In fact, I love this thought, is instead of being a go-getter, be a go-giver. Someone that's always looking to give for others.
Like that. Go-giver.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. Now, can you share your idea of what you mean by an effective goal setter. I mean, what does that really mean?
Well, I think it starts as simply is the fact that you have to know what you want. So I think it's really important that you start writing things down. And I delve into a little bit more deeply in my workshop where I go through and I talk about the ability to write it down in a positive affirmation. So you always start it with I, you always put it in a positive light, like I am happily doing something. And then you make it specific so that it's so clear that a fourth grader could read it and know exactly what you're trying to accomplish. And then I think it's got to be time dated. I think it's when you put a deadline on a goal, then it really increases your desire to make it come true. And the great thing about goal setting is you can put a deadline, and if it doesn't come true, you can adjust the goal and adjust the deadline. But I think when you do that, it really ups the ante that that when you set a goal. And what I found about goal setting is that when it's something that's like a give-up goal, for example, a lot of people like to lose weight or get in better shape, then I think you should share those types of goals to as many people as you can because they'll support you. Now, a gain goal, I think it's important you share that to people that you know are going to help you. For example, a gain goal would be maybe I want to be, the head coach of of Greece Athena High School. Well, if somebody shared that to me and I'm the head coach, I don't think I'm going to try to help them do that. So I think a gain goal, you want to make sure you share that with people that are going to support you. Where a give-up goal, I think you can share that with almost anybody and they're going to support you to a certain extent. Because, again, when you set goals and share them with people, you get a team of people. Because I heard this once, there's no such thing as a rich hermit. And I think the truth of that matter is that if you're going to be successful in life, you got to have a team of people that are going to support you.
Absolutely. The team support is really important. So, but you know what? I was thinking, I mean, what really made you decide to give J-Mac a chance to play in the varsity game?
That decision was really based on both mind and heart. I'll delve in that deeper by saying that the important thing is that I want people to really share is because J-Mac was so committed to our program and brought a positive attitude every day, and he so cared deeply about the success of the team, and he cared so much about each teammate that he deserved to get a chance. He earned his chance, and I think that's a really important lesson that J-Mac can help everyone with, is that it wasn't just like it was a gift. It was a gift that was deserved because he had invested so much time, and it was a way that I could give back to him because he had given so much to us.
Okay, beautiful. Well, what is your future goal that you have? I mean, since we're talking about goals, can you share one of your goals?
Sure, I'll share a couple. I think one, as far as my speaking, my goal is I want to be the top motivational speaker in the United States. I really want to try to inspire and help motivate as many people as I can, and through the story and all the things I've learned in my life through my own personal development, I'm really looking forward to continue to share my message to help as many people, have their dreams come true, and also be an effective leader, which is one of my other passions. Is I'm really studied leadership extensively, and I want to help. I believe everybody has the opportunity to lead. And then another one is that personally, I have some other goals with my coaching. That's why I've continued to coach. I want to help more kids, and a specific thing is we have a really good team coming back, and I'm really hoping that we can win a state championship for our school. We've gotten to the state tournament with, but I'm not able to capture the state crown. In fact, J-Mac's senior year, we won what we call our sectional title, which is a pretty big deal. And our school had not won one since 1992, and we kind of broke the barrier. J-Mac helped us do that in 2006. And then actually, if we broke that barrier down, for me personally, it was the first time as a coach in 25 years I won a sectional championship as a coach. And then since then, we've actually won 5, including the last 2 years. So I think that's a great lesson on perseverance. That if you keep sticking to what is most important to you, those things will eventually come true for you.
It is. I'm going to go ahead and share your book cover again so that people can look at it while you're talking. Now, can you share your 6 keys to an effective leader? Because I know that you've been talking about leadership, and I think those are important points that people out there that are leading and teaching our kids, that they understand what an effective leader looks like.
Right. Well, I have a leadership workshop, and in those we break down in what I call my 6 keys to being an effective leader. And first of all, I think everybody has the potential to be a leader, and I do want to start by saying the first person you must lead is yourself. So I think that's a really powerful start. In fact, I share with people, I'm always telling our kids that the first thing you got to do every day is stand in front of a mirror and say, I am responsible, that you're going to take charge of your life. I think that's where it all starts. But then getting into my 6 keys, I think the first thing is leaders clarify their vision. They have a strong vision of where they want to take a group of people, whether it's a team, an organization, a business, whatever, and then they constantly reinforce that and share that vision constantly, and it's very clear to everybody of the direction that you're going. That's, I think, where it starts as a leader. My second key is that I think all leaders can be trusted, and they are constantly building trust. And you do that by your actions as well as your words. And what you say and what you do have got to be congruent. And that that you start to really build what I call a trust account. That if you share that you're going to do something and you don't do it, you really hurt that trust account. But if you can consistently do what you say you're going to do, then you really build that trust account. And I think that's hugely important when you're working with people as a leader. My third key is that I think you have to find ways to create an edge for your team or your organization. And that's one thing as a leader. I'm always trying to find little ways that we can outperform our opponents. And I'll give you a couple illustrations in the basketball front. Like, one thing we do is we practice in the morning before school, which most teams are not willing to do. We bring in our own strength coach that works with our team throughout the year. I think the mental part of the game is so significant, just like it is in any part of life, is that you got to be mentally strong. So we do an imagery session before every game where we get ourselves in the right frame of mind. And I think those are just tips like that. And I think as a leader, whether you're running a business or running a team or an organization, is you've always got to continue to grow and then grow your team by helping them create the edge over your competition. My fourth essential key is I think all leaders that are effective are great communicators. And they are constantly communicating their expectations, they're constantly communicating their vision, and they do that various ways. And certainly in our world now, we have a lot of different ways to communicate. But I think, with all the advent of all these different technologies, you certainly can use them to the advantage. But I still think that one of the most powerful ways to communicate is face-to-face. So make sure as a leader that you keep that as part of your repertoire in communicating, and not just doing it with emails or text messages or voicemails or whatever. My fifth essential key is I think all effective leaders lead by example, and they set the tone. And I mentioned earlier that the first person you must lead is yourself. And if you set high standards for yourself and keep growing, you're going to be a great example to help grow your team and keep pushing them to a higher limit. And I think that's a really important thing, is that effective leaders are always growing, and they're always raising their standards, which will help raise the standards of their team or organization. And then the last one is leave a profit. And that's, to me, is what I call a philosophical part of being a great leader. And that is the ability to think is that everything that you're going to touch, you're going to turn to gold and not garbage. And another way of putting that is that you want to continue to improve and make your organization or your team the best you can be. and that you never go anywhere where you're going to get a reputation that he doesn't care or she doesn't care or and it goes as simple as like a great example is if you go to a McDonald's, pretty much anywhere in the world, you're going to get certain things, and one of them is usually the McDonald's that I know I've been to many of them over the years. Their cleanliness. You go in their bathroom, it's not disgusting. I know one of the things we talk to about our team when we go on the road, when we go into our opponent's locker room, we want to leave it looking better than when we get arrived. And I think when you develop that mindset that you're going to leave a profit, you're going to make everything you touch better as opposed to worse. I think that's a really powerful philosophy that you can adopt to be a great leader.
Mm. And when we're looking at school, businesses, just living in life, we're always talking about success. We need to be successful. We need to achieve success. What is your definition of success?
My definition of success is I have two thoughts on it. One is that I think when you continue to improve and grow yourself, I think is where it starts with success. And then I think the ultimate of success is when you grow and improve and you can add value and make the world a better place by helping others. I think when you do that, where you're constantly trying to grow yourself and then have the mindset that you're going to help others and make this world a better place. In fact, a thought that I got from the legendary UCLA coach, his dad had given him a creed, John Wooden, and his dad said, "John, you can't live a perfect day unless you help someone that can never repay you." And I think that's a great philosophy, is that, when you go out with that mindset that I'm going to grow myself and then help others, to me, that's what success is all about.
Wow. Beautiful. Well said. Now, where can the audience find you and learn more about you? I know that we shared the website, and I'm going to bring it back up. Would that be a place, or is there somewhere else that you want them to connect with you?
Yeah, actually, my website, I have a manager that assists me. Her name is Kate Holgate, and she does a great job, and we have a little team of people that, certainly we'd love to support any way we can, whether it's our keynote or our workshops or our book, any of the above. Certainly we are always interested in trying to help others and improve their situations and help with the various issues. I've been fortunate enough to work with all different types of groups, whether it's schools or businesses or associations or charity events. I've been fortunate to be involved with a lot of different groups, that we've been fortunate to make a really powerful impact with our programs.
And I see that if people sign up, they get a free newsletter, and they also receive a free chapter of your book, right?
Correct. Yes. If they go on the website, they can sign up. I bring out a newsletter every month. I also do a weekly blog, which I think we're going to increase. We do that. It comes out every Wednesday. That's also on the website. And of course, by signing up, you do get a free chapter of the book, which is a very powerful chapter. I think people will enjoy it.
Okay, beautiful. And I recommend that if you are on the call or you're listening to this webinar, you need to connect with Coach Jim Johnson. I mean, he has an abundance of information to share, experiences, and passion. I mean, the passion is what matters, and he's the person to go to. Do you want to share anything else, Coach, before we end our call, our webinar?
Sure. I just want to close by saying that, there's so much negativity out in the news and that kind of thing that I think it's really important to, stay strong with what you believe in and really come up with that mindset that, you're going to each day try to improve yourself, get a little bit better, and each day make a contribution to the world, and find different ways where you can help others, whether it's volunteering,
Coach, are you still there?
And I think the thing that, yep.
Yeah, I think we lost you for a second. So you ended, I heard that if you were recommending that people volunteer.
Yeah, people, volunteer and really take that mindset to, try to each day get a little bit better yourself and try to make the world a little bit better. The compound effect, that if you do something a little bit each day, it's like investing for your future, whether it's, financially or intellectually or whatever. And then, I'll give you a little thought to end on is that, you know what, learn from the past, but don't live in the past. Live in the present, but be optimistic and excited about the future.
Beautiful. That's wonderful. It was powerful connecting with you. And I also want to say that because my heart is helping students that are struggling in school and students in the area of what we consider special education if you're in a public setting. So what I have to offer to the audience that's out there, I have a free diagnostic test for parents if you want to find out specifically where your child is or where they're at in their reading level. I encourage you to go to learningdisabilitieswe'rejustlazy.com. It's not that you're lazy. I don't believe in that. It's that's how we're categorized. Either they're lazy or they have a learning disability, and then we categorize them and we leave them there. But I encourage you to find out what are their weaknesses, because reading is powerful. So find out what it is, and I'll show you the website really quick so that you can go there and connect. It's learningdisabilitieswe'rejustlazy.com, and you click on this section right here where it says diagnostic test. It's absolutely free. You get a free report, and you'll know exactly what to help with. You take it to your teachers in school, or if you're homeschooling, then you help them yourself on how to move forward, especially because reading is important. Don't you agree, Coach? I mean, reading is important for all kids.
Yeah, I think a little slogan I've seen that I really agree with is leaders are readers. And I think that's really a powerful thing. Is that I really try to encourage everybody to read each day. There's so much wonderful material out there that you can consume by reading.
Thank you. Now, do you have an event or something that's coming up that you would like to invite our audience to connect with you, and other than going to your website and buying your book? Is there something else?
I don't right now, but certainly, we've got some things that we're putting together. We just haven't finalized them yet. But thank you.
Well, thank you. And I want to thank everybody out there who's listening to this. I think this was a powerful talk with Coach Jim Johnson. It was beautiful information that he shared. Share it with your friends, and join me every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time, where we're going to be able to connect. I'm sorry, it's not Thursdays. I have other shows, believe me. I have my radio Blog Talk radio show and my shows on Thursday, but you will be able to follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, and in Superheroes in the Classroom. And if you want to connect with me on a live event, I have one coming up, and it's called Neurodynamic Edu Solutions. We will help you take NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, into the classroom. So connect with me to find out more. And all the information will be below, where you can click to connect with Coach Jim Johnson, to connect to his website, and get all the information for to make connections with him and me. And we will see you next time. See you, Coach. Thank you for connecting with me.
My pleasure.
It's
Thanks
amazing.
for having me. Okay.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Okay. Take care.